Okay, so saya akan mute-kan semua orang lah. Okay. Oh ya, banyak agak soalan-soalan yang tanya ni. Okay, saya serahkan soalan tu pada penghujung sebelum kita pergi ke lunch sekejap lagi ya. Okay. So, saya akan pergi pada mail management dan Google Chat. Okay. Maybe saya akan cuba habiskan dalam masa 15 minit ke 30 minit sebelum saya serahkan pada Encik Kishan untuk kongsikan sedikit dengan Google Classroom, dan saya akan teruskan dengan Google Workspace punya collaboration lah. Okay. Alright, so saya akan berhenti share screen ni, saya akan share saya punya desktop. Okay, seperti saya kongsikan tadi dengan berkenaan dengan Google Mail. Okay, so ini adalah Google Mail, dia menggunakan interface yang integrated. Okay, so dekat sini saya turn on default. Okay, yang saya ada mail, ada Google Chat. Okay, so and also meeting lah. Alright. Okay, so kita boleh drag dan sebagainya. Okay, so kat sini kita ada, let's say, Google Chat. Okay. Okay, and then after that, dekat sini, ni inbox. Okay, kat sini setting dia. So, kat setting ni, kita boleh choose kita punya, let's say, density. Okay. Nampak tak perbezaan dia, compact. Okay, dan sebagainya. Okay. And also, dekat sini, dia boleh ada reading pane lah, macam yang ada dekat, let's say, Outlook. Okay. So, let's say saya tekan email saya dekat sini, okay, dia akan actually keluarkan display dekat sini lah. Okay. Dan conversation view, saya tak pasti sama ada tuan-tuan dan puan-puan pernah tak guna conversation view sebelum ni ataupun memang selama ni dah guna conversation view. So, conversation view ni, saya nampak tak ada satu nombor dekat sebelah sini, 7, 3, okay. Maknanya berkenaan dengan email tersebut, okay, dia ada 7 email di dalamnya lah. Okay, sekiranya let's say kita turn off conversation view, dia akan pecahkan jadi 7 email berlainan. Okay. So,
report ya, Cik Benjamin.
Oh ya, saya lupa. Okay, terima kasih kerana mengingatkan. Okay, let's teruskan. Kedua adalah priority inbox. Kita boleh customize sama ada kita nak standard inbox, maknanya dia ikut turutan yang mana email datang dulu dan sebagainya, ataupun kita nak arrangekan inbox kami sebagai, let's say, important first. So, important dia keluar macam ni, yang mana warna kuning ni, okay, maknanya dia important lah, okay. Ataupun kita nak arrange unread first ataupun star first. Okay, apa priority inbox? Okay, priority inbox ni adalah priority inbox ni, okay, dia adalah mixture of unread, important, okay. Maknanya dia akan first show inbox yang pertama adalah important and unread. Okay, let's say kalau kita nak tukar, maknanya first kita tak nak important and unread, kita boleh tukar lah apa yang kita nak tunjuk dulu. And then second inbox, star, third inbox, let's say kita berdasarkan certain rules yang kita nak buat, and then everything else. Okay, so kita boleh decide setiap inbox ni ada berapa items yang akan dipaparkan. Okay, so inbox ni dia ada multiple inbox actually it's just satu terma ataupun satu term. Dia bukan bermaksud kita ada banyak-banyak inbox. Maknanya dia groupkan jadi macam let's say satu grouping lah, so that dia ada rules dan sebagainya. Okay. So next is actually filters. Okay, kita let's say for example saya buat satu search, let's say I kata root. Okay. Okay, kita boleh buat satu search, let's say I letak root. So let's say dekat sini kita boleh enhance search tersebut. Okay, let's say I tekan root, I will say this space. Okay. Nampak tak email-email berkenaan dengan terma-terma dan sebagainya. Okay, lepas tu what we can do is actually kita boleh create filter. Of course rules ni tuan-tuan boleh perhalusi let's say kita nak letak, let's say daripada siapa kepada siapa, ada subjek apa dan ada perkataan-perkataan apa dan sebagainya. Okay, mana kita nak search dan sebagainya. Lepas tu kalau let's say ni memadai apa yang sedia ada, tuan-tuan boleh tekan create filter. Kita nak buat apa berdasarkan filter yang kita buat ni. So ini bersamaan dengan Microsoft Outlook punya rules and folders lah, right? So kita boleh decide whether you want to skip the inbox, which is archive it, mark as read, star it, apply a label. Okay, so berkenaan dengan label, okay, saya nak kongsi sedikit So labels ni dia saya boleh kata dia ada persamaan dengan folder, okay, tetapi dia tak sama dengan folder So labels ni macam sticky note. Okay, let's say kita ada satu file yang saya kata file ni bukan file virtual, tetapi yang kita print kertas banyak-banyak, kita memfilekan dalam satu file. Okay, dalam satu file ni kita boleh, muka-muka surat tertentu kita boleh letak label. Let's say kita labelkan yang ni mustahak, kita labelkan yang ni untuk next action dan sebagainya. Kita boleh banyak-banyakkan label tu dalam satu kertas. Okay, itu konsep label. Okay, tetapi dalam konsep folder, okay, dekat let's say kalau let's say kita samakan dengan konsep folder, okay, satu file hanya boleh simpan satu folder hanya boleh simpan satu file. Okay, dia satu file tak boleh satu kertas tu tak boleh adakan di banyak-banyak file. Okay, maknanya kalau kita nak banyak-banyakkannya, kita kena photostat kertas tu untuk masukkan file-file yang lain. Okay, so the advantage of labels is kita boleh adakan banyak labels, okay, di dalam satu file tersebut ataupun di salah satu email tersebut. Okay, faham tak penjelasan saya? Okay, next of course kita boleh create ada rules lah. Jadi kita boleh forward it, okay, kita boleh delete, kita boleh never send to spam, okay, kita boleh hantar satu respon, okay. Maknanya kita ada pre-describe punya respon. Let's say kalau sekiranya ada email ni, kita boleh hantar a pre-defined punya respon, okay. Okay, so let's go to nanti saya akan tunjuklah macam mana nak buat template ni. Okay, then always mark as important dan sebagainya. Okay, also the last thing is also apply to the current search punya filtering so that tuan-tuan boleh create filter tersebut. Okay, let's look at the same template. Okay. Okay, let's say saya boleh letak template ni sebagai dia all. Okay, I will just say thanks. I think I should put noted with thanks. Ini yang selalu orang suka guna ni. Okay. What we can do here, we can actually save draft as template. Okay, save as a new template. I will just say noted with thanks. Okay. So maknanya kalau let's say berdasarkan filter rules yang kita buat tadi, kita boleh benarkan rules untuk menggunakan template tu dan reply balik supaya dia boleh reply menggunakan template yang kita berikan. Okay, faham setakat ni? Okay, of course, the other part is we can actually have other plugins. For example, kita ada calendar, Google Keep, okay, task, context dan sebagainya lah. Okay, so itu untuk sedikit berkenaan dengan mail management ataupun berkenaan dengan interface Gmail. Ada tak sebarang soalan berkenaan dengan Gmail? So of course dekat sini kita ada app-app yang kita boleh ada di dalam domain kita. Okay. Yang mana app yang dibenarkan dalam ni kita boleh tengok dekat sini. Okay. One more thing is that I want to show, tuan-tuan tahu tak sebenarnya Google Gmail boleh buat offline. Okay, let's say kita pergi see all setting, kita datang pada offline, kita boleh enable offline. Okay, so dekat setting ni we can actually store emails for the last 90 days. Okay, we want to take whether download attachment and also whether what you do if actually after logout. Okay, alright. So the other part is that under generals you can look at signature. Okay, nampak tak saya ada banyak-banyak signature berdasarkan email yang saya dah set. Okay, so saya boleh spesifikkan email apa menggunakan signature apa. Okay, so kat sini boleh define lah. Let's say kalau email address ni, okay, for new email guna apa, signature apa, for reply tu guna signature apa. Okay, and of course there is also the vacation responder or selalu kita panggil out of office lah. Okay, ada tak soalan berkenaan dengan apa ni Google Mail ni? Kalau tak ada, saya boleh teruskan kepada Google Chat. Okay, so di sini adalah Google Chat. Tuan-tuan boleh just letak let's say chat.
Sorry Mr. Ben.
Ya, saya.
Saya boleh tanya berkenaan dengan storage mail tak?
Okay.
Maximum storage for Gmail, right? Dia maximum storage means dia dah overall mail storage. Berapa?
Maximum storage berapa? I cannot remember right now the maximum storage for Hishan. You have the number? What's the maximum storage that they have?
I can't remember.
Is it 100 gig or something like that?
I can't remember. It's still I think the Google is making it as a pool for MOE, and MOE choose how they want to set it.
Yeah. So actually buat masa sekarang ni
it's still unlimited for now.
Buat masa sekarang ni whether is it Gmail, Google Drive, the storage is still unlimited. Okay. But I think starting July next year there will be changes in terms of the storage punya policy. I think that one kita akan serahkan pada team project untuk announce nanti what will they be, apa yang akan berubah dan sebagainya. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so on the other part in terms of security, okay, you can actually look at the bottom right corner. Then you can actually see that currently being used in one other location. You can actually click on the details, right? It will actually show you, okay, where are the other recent activities dan sebagainya yang menggunakan login tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Okay, let's say you have multiple PCs logging in dan sebagainya, then you can actually show it here. Okay, so of course jangan terkejut lah. Let's say apa yang kenapa dia location dekat United States, because maybe sometimes you have actually enabled certain add-on or plugins that requires access that it will actually ask you to authorize. So it will not be your local IP address because it's actually go back, dia akan ikut pada app punya location yang minta access tu, bukan berdasarkan login tuan-tuan dan puan-puan pada masa tersebut. Okay. Right, so you can actually look at it, let's say manage account access. Okay, dia akan beritahu, okay, which are the third party apps yang menggunakan tuan-tuan punya access. Let's say, example, Gather menggunakan access Google Calendar, HelloSign menggunakan Google Contacts, Docs dan Google Drive dan sebagainya. Okay. So ni add-on dia lah. Okay. So saya akan pergi pada Google Chat. So by default you can actually type chat.google.com. Okay. So dekat yes.
Mana rekod dia, rekod ni mana-mana ni sampai kau lain lah.
Apa?
Lain.
Benar.
Ini kan dia kelas ni.
Mute all. Okay. So I've already mute all again, and then after that, okay. So this is the chat, right? So what you can do, there's individual chat. There's also rooms, right? You can actually create rooms, right? You can start a room, a group conversation. You can create a room. You can find a room. You can also find a bot. So bot ni adalah macam, let's say I created a, let's say I have a bot. Let's see if I still have that bot here. Okay, I don't have it here. So let's say I find a bot. So you can actually create a bot. For example, you want to add a Google Meet bot. Yeah, I said I want to chat with the bot. I will just say that please schedule a meeting with Ishan. So boleh tak saya tak macam tu? Okay. So here are the times that I found which of these should I schedule. Okay. So I will just say A. Okay. So I schedule your meeting with Kishan. So apa yang tunjuk dekat, apa yang dipaparkan dekat sini adalah berdasarkan calendar availability yang tuan-tuan kongsikan bersama rakan-rakan tuan-tuan dekat kalender. Okay, so that dia boleh access, boleh tengok, so tuan-tuan boleh tengok bila dia available dan bila dia tak available. Okay, because there's other bot that you can actually use it lah, right? For example, let's say Google Drive. Let's see Google Drive. Chat with Google Drive. Okay, so this is the chat with Google Drive. So I probably can ask, say, onboarding Google Slides. Not sure kalau. Okay. So can I update about the new comments and requests for this? So dia akan tanya lah apa yang kita nak buat berkenaan dengan ni dan sebagainya. Okay. So you can actually continue with those up there. Alright. So on Google Drive, okay, there's one thing you can actually do is that on the settings here, okay, you can go to settings, okay, and then you can actually also enable offline. Maknanya the docs sheet slides that you have already opened before, okay, it will actually available offline if kalau let's say tuan-tuan punya internet cut off and so on, right? So you can still continue to edit once your computer go back to online. Actually, you can actually synchronize the data, the stuff that you have edited and then synchronize it back to online. Okay. So I'm not sure if tuan-tuan tahu in terms of so this is the after you do recording, right? So this is the Google Meet punya recording chat, okay, that it actually recorded, okay, all right. So, so far ada tak soalan berkenaan dengan mail management ataupun berkenaan dengan berkenaan dengan Google Chat?
Mr. Ben nak tanya, Google Chat,
Ya saya.
Google Chat tu kita boleh tak buat, kita insertkan the email address secara pukal, tak perlu add satu-satu ke dia memang kena kita kena add satu-satu?
Google Chat add secara pukal. So
Kalau macam cikgu kan, dia buat chat room for the class kan, so boleh tak kita buat as secara pukal,
So let's say
grouping email?
saya pergi pada saya cuba I've never done this before, but let me try. So let's say I select all this.
Kalau list email tu dari Google Sheet tu terus paste kat situ boleh kot kalau secara pukal. Boleh ke?
Saya tengah tengok boleh tak? Let's say add the chat room, group conversation dan I paste here.
Macam dulu pernah buat, tapi dah tak boleh dah.
Macam tak boleh lah.
Dulu pernah sekali boleh buat, lepas tu dah tak boleh.
Okay, let me try the other function So let's say I buat formula here, I will just put saja ni. Oh my god. View. Okay. So let's say I'll just put just compare the limit. Okay, this one. Okay, fulfill. Alright. So let's say I try like this. E-commerce. Tengok dia boleh tak. Let's say copy ni. Masuk dalam room. Aku conversation. Boleh. Let me just create one first. Okay, and then I'm going to create more than one lah.
Biasanya kalau kita buat grup, boleh lah tu. Kalau kita add sebagai grup, member di dalam tu, already exist the group, then baru kita invite secara grup. What we are doing here lah.
So that one is kalau yang tu kita create group lah, kan?
Yes, dalam Google Contact tu kita create dulu punya grup dulu.
Oh, maknanya kita kena create dekat Google Contact tu dulu lah, kita setkan siap.
Can you try using like one of our groups there, like sales or tech?
Okay. Let me try this one more time.
Cannot like that. I tried before.
Cannot also.
Yeah.
Okay, tak boleh juga. Tak boleh buat pukal. So what do you want to do just now?
Try add a group email.
So let's say I'm going to create a new group. I'm just going to say tech@matrixc.com. Tentu.
Can I?
You can.
Can also. Alright.
Yep.
Tak boleh juga.
You can do that.
It's a group.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So actually earlier on I show there is a group's recommendation here based on Meet punya settings and things like that, but I don't know why is it not here anymore. Okay. Right. Okay, I think I have covered for that. Then I'll pass it to Kishan.
Yep, sure. Let me share my screen.
Then let me take time to go through some of the Q&A first.
Okay, so apa yang kita tunjukkan selama ni, bukan selama ni lah, daripada pagi tadi is actually methods of communication lah dengan sama dengan student atau dengan parents dan sebagainya, right? Or within dalam school. Contoh kalau live stream kita boleh buat perhimpunan kan, guna live stream, right? Lepas tu Ben juga ada tunjuk pasal Google Chat. Google Chat ni lagi satu method of communication lah. So you can think of it as, contoh kalau kita ada satu kelas, seorang guru tu ada satu kelas, and dia nak add in all the parents sahaja. Dia nak satu group tu untuk parents sahaja. So apa-apa notification ke apa dia nak bagi kepada parents, dia boleh bagi dekat sana juga. They can open a sheet and say that for parents ni aktiviti-aktiviti yang akan terjadi, yang akan diadakan pada sekian-sekian, dan kita perlukan kooperasi daripada cooperation daripada parent-parents untuk isi borang-borang ni dan sebagainya. Okay, so tu salah satu contoh. Tapi method yang paling banyak guru-guru akan guna adalah ni, Google Classroom. So I have two accounts here. Saya ada dua account, teachers dengan students. Okay, teacher dengan student account. So this is a teacher account, this is a student account. Okay, just nak tunjuklah Google Classroom. Okay, so maybe some of you are very familiar with Google Classroom. Most likely better than me, especially kalau you are cikgu or pernah menjadi seorang guru sebelum ni dan pernah guna Google Classroom. Most likely you lagi expert daripada saya lah. Tapi I just wanted to show you how exactly your teachers will be communicating with students using Google Classroom. Okay, firstly you can create or join a class. So contoh kalau kelas tu dah di-create oleh sesiapa, right? Guru tu boleh join sahaja kelas tu, ataupun dia boleh create kelas baru. So contoh saya create kelas baru lah, and kelas dia saya namakan satu dynamic. Ikut kelas yang satu dedikasi. Ikut kelas saya maksud saya dari satu Okay, satu dedikasi. Okay, section subjek semua ni saya biar je. Okay, kelas ni satu dedikasi. Okay, so dia akan create satu kelas. Okay, dari sini dia ada meeting code, dia ada class code yang you boleh, so when you're having the Google Meet session, what we can do is we can just show, okay, ni code dia, sila typekan code dia dekat tempat-tempat yang sepatutnya. So kalau dia nak type code, dia boleh klik join class dan dia kena type code dia sendiri. Okay, so let me try this, kalau boleh ke tak. So contoh saya copy and paste. Try. Okay, so student tu dah join. Okay, the other option is, Ben, can you give me your EDU account? If you have,
give me a moment.
Just put it in the chat.
I paste it into the chat.
Yes.
You want my student one, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So I'm taking Ben's student ID. So as a teacher, what I can also do is I boleh pergi kepada people, okay, and I can add a student directly dekat sini. I can add a teacher juga sebenarnya. Kalau, I mean, logically satu kelas tu mungkin banyaklah cikgu dia ajar subjek ni, subjek tu dan sebagainya kan. So ni I can actually add more teachers if I want to, okay, and I can add students as well. So I'm going to add a student, okay. So the student I'm going to add is student.benjamin at
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir?
Yeah.
Can I know how many teacher can share this one? I mean the classroom, the limit of total of teacher and the student.
Let me check. Sekejap let me check sebab saya pun tak pernah try. Berapa banyak
Just limit per classroom
can you check man?
Yeah, I'm checking that out.
Okay, so I'm going to invite Benjamin. So what will happen is Benjamin will receive an email in his account to say that, hey, you have been invited to join sekian-sekian punya kelas lah. Okay, so as you can see, dia tunjuk sini invited, tapi dia tak masuk lagi. Student kitchen ni dah masuk dah. Okay, sebab dia typekan kod dia sendiri. Okay. So apa dia akan nampak dekat sini is all the notifications akan datang kepada dia punya email. Mesti ada notification baru ke tak? Okay, set dia. Alright. Okay, so semua notification akan datang dekat sini lah. Alright, so as a teacher, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, so I can just go back to the stream and I can make announcements. So maybe I'll say, okay, post now, so you can also post it for later. You can prepare your announcements and post it for later. Okay, but for now, I'm just going to say, selamat datang, murid-murid murid-murid kelas 1 dedikasi. Okay. Nama saya Education akan menjadi guru kelas anda. Okay. So I can save this or post it for later. So I can schedule. So if I schedule, dia akan keluar lah. Okay, tarikh apa, apa you nak hantar benda ni. Okay. Let me see. If I click again, schedule, or I can save it as a draft juga. Okay, that means I save saja, I tak hantar lagi. I tak decide lagi bila I nak hantar. So dia akan keluar kalender macam ni untuk bila kita nak actually hantar, dan time kita boleh tukar sendirilah. Okay. So for now, I'm just going to click post. Okay, so you can choose to post to all students, a single student. Tapi kalau you ada teachers, you can also send to just all teachers saja. So maybe guru kelas ada announcement, dia nak cakap mungkin I don't know, announcement dia is Cikgu Jamilah tidak dapat hadir untuk kelas kerana telah jatuh sakit atau sebagainya. And then the replacement teacher siapa. Okay. So for now I'm ticking all. So if I don't tick all, right, what happens? Okay, semua keluar. Okay, so I'm gonna pick just Benjamin, maybe, or maybe I'm gonna pick Benjamin and Kishan. So if I pick Benjamin and Kishan, they automatically I can check up all students. Okay, so yeah, so as a post, I can also put in a Google Drive link. So all your files are actually stored in Google Drive. So if you have all the files in Google Drive, you can actually send a lot of different stuff from Google Drive. You can do that. Okay. And then apa lagi? I can also upload a file directly from my computer, okay? Or I can just add a link. Let's say you as a teacher, you found a good place for students to do some additional learning. You found a good article to say that, hey, maybe you're teaching science pada murid-murid, and science and cikgu, and dalam subjek science tu, ada dalam buku teks dia ada tulis pasal sekian-sekian, tapi dia ada research paper kat luar tu yang menyatakan ada research baru dari yang menyatakan otherwise kan, yang menyatakan yang bukan lagi macam tu. Okay, so maybe cikgu-cikgu nak share link semata-mata untuk students tahulah, untuk knowledge purpose sahaja. Okay, boleh juga. Or if you have a good YouTube link yang you nak share, yang boleh explain dengan secara lebih mendalam mengenai a particular topic, boleh juga. Okay, so I can click YouTube link and you can just copy and paste the URL link, or you can search kat sini juga. Let's say how to use Google Classroom. Google. Ada juga. Oh, at least you have to use your URL lah. So you can just paste the URL kat sini. Okay. Yeah, so what I will do is I'll just click post. Okay, then I can also see my settings. Okay, I can edit it and dan sebagainya. Let's say I want to edit it for all students and so on. Okay, done. But what happens now is, as a student, okay, let me see, as a student, dia tak refresh again. As a student now, I have already, I boleh nampak benda ni, so I can actually comment to my teacher and say, salam cikgu. And I can also tag people in the comment. Okay, so I'm going to tag at so I'm just going to say salam cikgu, right? So if I click salam, so but sometimes as a teacher, you tak nak student ni semua comment macam-macam. Okay, so what can you do? First things first, as a teacher, what you would do is you would check your settings first. Okay, is the invite code turned on? Yes. Is the invite link? Yes, the invite link is here as well. So you can actually just copy this link and share to your students. Okay, let's say you've created a chat group first, okay, for all the students to join in dalam class 2. First, you can also just copy this and paste it to them and ask them to click on that link and follow. Okay, and then so the stream, so students can post and comment. So you can disable this and say that students cannot post, only teachers can post and comment, or students can only comment. Pun boleh juga, right? So you can also generate a meeting link for Google Meet link for this particular class that diorang boleh guna. Okay. Apa lagi? Okay. Grading semua tak payah. Okay. So tu saja. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to save. So now if the student tries to comment, let's see, refresh. If the student tries to comment, dah tak wujud dah tempat nak komen tu. Okay, untuk student. So student tak boleh komen lah dalam dalam setting ni. Okay, so tu pulanglah kepada para guru-guru ataupun polisi-polisi yang telah yang telah diletakkan. Okay, so let's say you want to create classworks. Okay, what can you do? So you can actually create mula-mula topics. So topics means it's like contoh matematik. Grade 2, okay, matematik dengan lagi satu topik science. Okay. So I want to give my students coursework. So I want to give them an assignment dulu mula-mula. Okay, so assignment ni senang je. Learning about observation. Okay, learning about observation. Okay, so you can give the instruction. So pick let's say 3 features. Pick an animal and select 3 features to showcase the 3 unique features. Unique features of this animal. Okay. Please use Google Slides to submit. Okay. And then lagi.
Kishan, before you assign, the bottom right, the check for plagiarism or originality, you can take that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can enable originality on 5 assignments per class. Oh, so some 5 assignments per class is because account yang saya guna ni untuk EDU is actually the free account. Okay, so I think teachers are going to get the when I say free account is the fundamental account. That means yang account lama. Okay, I tak ada account baru. I tak ada account education plus. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to click continue, and then I'm going to click apa lagi? Check for plagiarism. Then I'm going to click what is the topic. So I'm going to say this is part of the science topic, and the points for this is 100 points. But sekali lah actually what teachers want to do, ungraded pun boleh, you nak tukar 80 pun boleh. Okay, so due date I'm going to put due date is Friday, and the time is 11:59 PM. Okay, boleh lah sekali. Okay. Rubric ni is actually, you can actually create rubric. Okay, it actually makes it a lot more. So this is for teachers. Okay, what are certain criteria that will actually create different scoring and so on. Okay, add the criteria you'll use to evaluate student work as well as performance level or description you want to include. Students will receive a copy of this rubric with their assignment. So you actually telling the students macam mana cikgu akan scorekan awak, okay, dan macam mana you patut jawab, okay. But I'm not going to make it so complicated for this presentation, okay. So I'm going to click assign. Apa akan jadi? Okay, due tomorrow. So let me see if my students can see it or not, okay. So now apa nama dia? So student Kishan will see that, hey, upcoming due tomorrow is actually learning about observation. So dia boleh klik so students also can run their originality report lah. Okay, pick an animal, blah blah blah. Okay, due tomorrow. So I need to create a document. So cikgu dah cakap dah Google Slides, so I can pilih add or create, and I'll click Google Slides. Okay, simple as that. Let me master skip, sorry. Got it. So when you're ready to submit all of your files, this assignment, remember to turn it in. So students, so as a student, right, you will, student tu pun akan dapat guidance daripada Google macam mana dia nak submit assignment dia. Okay. So dia boleh klik sahaja link ni and dia akan buka kepada Google Slides yang kosong. Okay. So let's say I'm the student and I'm just gonna search. I tak tahu macam mana nak guna Google Slides ni, tak pandai. What they can do is just click explore and just click observation. Betul lah, sorry. Tekan observation. And so everything is here, okay, observation, images, drive, dan sebagainya. So I'm just going to click here and I'm going to say I'm going to use this image as the front page. Okay, insert. Then maybe student tu agak pandai jugalah, so dia akan tukar background dia contoh. Okay, dia akan tukar background, dia akan tukar warna lain pula. Dia akan tukar warna macam ni. Okay, simple, done. Okay, tapi tak cantik lah. So macam mana dia nak cantikkan? Dia just click explore lagi sekali and Google akan bagi suggestion macam mana slides ni patut, how should it look like. Okay, so let's say dia pilih ni. Okay, so dia click to add title and I will put in I just copy ni je lah. Okay, and I'm gonna put in the what's that? I'll put it as tiger. Okay, so tiger is what I'm looking for. Okay, what the animal that I'm looking I want to observe. Okay, so I'll create a new slide and I'll just search here, right? I'll just search here and I'll say I want to put in some image of the tiger. So I just put tiger. Okay, tiger images. Okay, so let's say I like this tiger picture, or maybe this tiger picture. Let's go here. Okay. Okay, tapi student ni dia suka main-main. So instead of tiger features, dia nak letak tiger biscuit pula. Kan? Okay, then tiger stripes. Okay, tiger stripes. Okay, senang. Alright, so dia just letak je gambar kat dalam, lepas tu dia klik explore, Google akan bagi suggestion macam mana dia nak letak. Okay, okay, mungkin dia nak letak ni kat sini saja. Okay, ni dia nak besarkan. Okay, so besarkan kat sini. Tiger. So dia tulis, tigers are scary. Tigers have stripes. Tigers have sharp teeth. Tiger biscuit is good. Okay. So macam tu je. Dia dah siap.
Tiger boleh dimakan.
Tiger boleh dimakan. Tiger boleh dimakan. Okay, so simple. Okay, so what the student will do now is, once they've done this, Google akan auto save. As long as you're connected to the internet, okay, all the files you tak payah click save dan sebagainya, Google akan auto save. Okay, so what the student will do is they will click file, so they will go back to here and then they will click. So contohlah dia dah siap, dia akan click turn in. Okay, turn in. Okay, then sebagai cikgu, the teacher will be able to see the classwork, learning about observation. Ada 2 orang dah hantar. Okay. Okay, so we can see that. Oh, okay. Student Benjamin. Yep, so student Benjamin has submitted as well. So let's see what student Benjamin has done. Student Benjamin has done the Malayan tapir. It has a spot and stripe, has a long nose, but it's not an elephant. It has a similar color like zebra and panda. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I'll give the student maybe 60. right? And I'll add a private comment and say, good job, Benjamin. Mungkin lain kali bolehlah letak banyak sikit gambar. Banyak gambar. Boleh banyakkan gambar. Banyakkan gambar. So this is a private comment between students and teachers. Okay, teacher can make comments like this as well. Okay, so I'm going to return this to Benjamin. Return to Benjamin. So Benjamin tahulah dia dapat 60/100. Okay. Going back tadi mana? Ni. So tengok student Gishan pula. Apa student Gishan buat? Student Gishan. Okay, so student Gishan buat. Okay, tigers are scary. So student Gishan ni buat okay. So we give him 40 marks and we say private comment. Tiger biscuit is just a brand. It is not made of tigers. And it is not a feature of a tiger. Okay. So I can return the submission. So dia buat balik. Okay. Right, simple. Okay. So let's say student Benjamin, I will say that this is done. Okay. Contohlah dia dah habis, so I can say this is done as well. Okay. Email selected students, so I can email selected students as well. Okay. So dia akan terus keluarkan email kalau perlu. Okay. You can directly reach out to these email students. Okay. And cakaplah apa yang diperlukan. Okay. Let's say maybe dia buat tak betul ke apa ke. You can actually just communicate with them from here. Okay. Done. Then let me do another one. I'll go here. Mana dia tadi? Classes. Satu dia guys. Okay. So I'm going to do another one. I'm going to create a classwork, okay, for mathematics. Okay, so I'm going to create, not a classwork, sorry, I'm going to create a quiz assignment. Okay, and I'm going to, this topic is for mathematics. Okay, simple je. Jawab semua soalan. Addition. Okay. Jawab semua soalan berikut. So then you have your blank Google Forms here. Okay, you can create your question, your quiz as you would like. Okay, so I'm going to create a quiz. I'm going to say mathematics. Okay, soalan pertama, 2 tambah 2. Lepas tu 2, 4, 3, 0. Okay, so it's a multiple choice. Students perlu jawab, and then you can set the answer as this is the answer, and markah yang dia akan dapat kalau jawab soalan ni is 30%, 30 points. Okay, done. Okay, then you can add another question and say, so you have a choice. You can make it multiple choice, short answer, paragraph, dan sebagainya. Okay, so I'm going to put another question. I'm going to say 10 tambah 6. Okay, 16, 106, 4, 12. Okay. Required, and I can also say what is the answer. So the answer is, let's say, 16. And I'm going to say this is another 30 points. Okay. And finally, another thing is you can also add an answer feedback. So contoh kalau soalan tu kompleks and you nak buat explanation, kalau student tu jawab, you can also add an answer feedback to say, why is the answer incorrect? Why is the answer correct? Okay. Then one more question, I'm going to say 102 plus 5. So the answer is 1025, 807. Okay. And then required answer key, I'm going to say this is 40 points. Okay. And this is the answer. Done. Okay. Okay. Done. Okay. So then I can just click send. If I want to send to a particular email, I can do that. Or I can just leave it as such, and let me see the setting. Okay. All right. So you can limit it within the organization, meaning within your school itself, within MOE itself, boleh juga. Okay. Dia tak ada plagiarism lah. Okay. 100 points. Due date. Okay. So I'm going to assign. Okay. This one I didn't put. Remember, I didn't put tarikh due date. So tak ada due date. So student tu takkan nampak pun kalau tak ada due date. Kalau tak silap lah. Let me see. Satu dia dikasih. Fresh. Yeah, so dia akan tulis ni macam ni. Woohoo, no work due soon. Okay. But if I click view all, dia akan tunjuk edition. Okay, posted today. So, dia still boleh jawab. Okay, cuma dia takkan dapat notifikasi tu. Okay, so you can also talk to your teacher privately. Got it? Okay. So, let's say mathematics. Okay, so we click on the quiz and we answer. So, 4. Okay, this one is 16. This one soalan susah, so dia jawab salah. 125. Okay. Send me a copy of my responses and I click submit. Okay, so the students can actually see their scores. Okay, ni betul. Okay, ni betul. Ni salah. Apa jawapan betul dia? Jawapan betul dia 107. Sebagai contoh lah. Okay, so this is how you can, teachers can also give tests, quiz. Okay, at the same time, let me see. As a teacher, you will also be able to see the grades of all your students if you want to. Okay. These are the grades of all your students. So this one you tak grade lagi. Walaupun Google Form akan automatically bagi jawapan, tapi you need to click like you accept. Okay. So example, I go to classwork, I go to edition, and I say view assignment. Okay. No, I can click import grade here. Okay, are you sure you want to import grades for edition? Importing grades will override the current. Yes. Okay, so semua dah dapat markah. Alright. Dia tulis sudah siap cikgu. Okay. So go back to satu dedikasi. And I go back to grades. Okay, so I will be able to see the grades here. And what is the class average? Tapi sebab ada seorang tak jawab lagi, so dia tak tulis lah class average lagi. Ni still draft. Okay, once I click accept, dia akan accept. Right? Yeah, so you can also select by people. So let's say you have a presentation with the parents. I have a presentation with the parents of student Benjamin. So dia akan tulis lah. This is the summary. Okay, apa yang dia buat? Okay, turn in berapa markah dia? Apa yang dia buat? Apa kerja dia? Apa komen daripada cikgu? Macam mana kerja dia? How did his work look like? Okay, semua benda dah tersedia dekat sini. Okay. Ada apa-apa soalan ke?
Mr. Kishan?
Yes.
Okay, kalau macam tadi you tunjuk yang kalau kita nak buat perjumpaan dengan parents, kita klik nama student kan?
Ya, betul.
Dan dekat situ maksudnya apa sahaja kerja yang student tu buat daripada awal tahun hingga sekarang akan ada dekat situ.
Betul. Kalau dia gunakan dia gunakan sistem ni lah. Kalau dia guna kalau dia buat Google Slide dia sendiri dan sebagainya, bukan melalui Google Classroom, dan dia tak nampak lah.
Yalah, tapi maksudnya apa sahaja yang dia bagi, katakan dia snapshot, tak dia lah ya. Maksudnya apa sahaja yang guru mark dan score kan ada dekat situ.
Sebab contohnya kalau kita tengok grades ni, memanglah boleh nampak semua orang. Tapi mungkin parents atau mungkin ni isu sensitif, mungkin kita tak nak tunjuk kepada semua student kepada parents kan. So kita tunjuklah student dia sendiri, tapi kita bagi tahulah apa average score dalam kelas tu, and sama ada anak dia kira the top percentile ke bottom percentile. Dia akan tahulah. Okay. Thank you. Yep. So So ni basic tau. Ni basic Google Classroom. Ada lagi banyak sebenarnya feature-feature yang ada dalam Google
Dia ada
Classroom.
ke features yang bila kita hantar ke student, parents pun dapat?
Sebenarnya ada, tapi you kena add parents. I tak pasti macam mana nak buat benda tu.
Oh,
Kena check.
add
Tapi ada
parents?
cara.
Ada
Ada sebenarnya. Hari tu saya dah nampak, tapi saya tak ingat macam mana saya nak buat. There is a way to add parents. Add parents in Google Classroom.
Even though different domain boleh masuk
Itu terpulang kepada apa tu? There's students and guardians into a class. Ada cara dia. Ada video dia lah. Sorry, even different domain. Ya, dia mestilah different domain sebab dia bukan daripada MOE ni kan. Tapi I tak tahu kebenaran itu dibenarkan dari segi polisi MOE ke tak. Itu saya tak pasti.
But so far, if I'm not mistaken, kalau kata murid tu, contoh ya, murid tu tak ada lagi ID MOE D5, especially the standard 1, early of the year lah. So kalau mereka tak ada, mereka guna Gmail biasa, mereka tak boleh masuk tau dekat domain cikgu tu.
Oh, yeah, I think that means itu setting dia lah. That means you need to use the domain ni, MOE. Tapi tak apalah, you can still use Google Chat. You can still use Google Chat to communicate with the parents. Macam tadi kan, I told you, you can create a group and just for communication with parents. Kadang-kadang, how to say, kadang-kadang I don't think teachers want to be audited by parents banyak sangat juga. Dia rasa leceh. Dia rasa fed up kan.
Banyak soalan nanti.
Banyak soalan nanti. Saya cikgu kau but it's also important to communicate with the parents, right? So Google has many different avenues to communicate.
Sorry, Mr. Kishan.
Yeah.
Nak tanya, since you touch pasal parents tu kan, just terfikir lah. Ni just tanya je.
Yep. Go
Macam parents tu, dia boleh, kat sini dia boleh monitor grade student tu, maknanya grade anak dia lah. Just wondering.
I'm not sure because I've never added in as a parent before, so I've never tried that before.
Because macam Google Chat tu nampak macam tak selesa sikit lah kan nanti between parents dengan teachers kan. So means just as they act as a macam monitor lah, just to know that the progress of their child, right? So maybe their concern yang sibuk sikit, dia akan concern grade sajalah, nak tengok grade je.
Let me see. Can parents view grades? Google Classroom. Actually, guardians. The word is guardians. Guardians can't see grades. They are not included in the guardian summary.
DVD Tower did say that only teachers can see grades.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Kishan, I got a question.
Sure.
Okay. If I use another app such as word wall, quizzes or live worksheets kan, dia tak auto grading kan, dia hanya Google Form je auto grading untuk Google Classroom ni kan. Kalau ada app tu
dia bukan auto grading pun tau sebenarnya. If you see right, mana tadi matematik ni, Google Form kan. Okay. It's not actually an auto grade. So what I'm doing is I'm importing the grade. Okay. Tapi sebenarnya I tak grade pun lagi.
Okay, noted sir. Okay.
So I can click, once I click return, student I can check any grades you left. Scores will also be released to students in review form. So technically you boleh isi satu pun sebenarnya.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's something like you also given the ruang, right? For example, like I don't know, maybe there is something, let's say berdasarkan lisan, right? That you want to actually give manual grading based on Google Forms. So then you will decide that there and then, right?
Yeah. So if let's say you create a classwork, and let's say I'm going to create one more classwork, I call it quiz assignment, okay? Tapi I buang ni, boleh je, right? Then you can actually put in your own link kalau you perlu, right? Let's say you have a separate link that you use to grade the students. You can still do that.
Actually, this one can also add the what's the on-call quizzes, the add-on.
I haven't put in any add-on. Yeah, but
Oh,
I think that daughter.
my kid always play with that. So they happy lah bila homework dia untuk main quiz je kerja dia.
Yeah, so students like this sometimes. It's a good engagement as well. I know it's not a replacement for classroom, but you know, at the end of the day, it's the best that we can do lah. Again, we make the best of a difficult situation. In the future, I foresee that mungkin juga kan, kita tak tahu, tapi mungkin juga education will be a little bit more of a hybrid engagement. Google Classroom ni semua ada, tapi students still datang kelas, right? And assignments are given and handed in via this Google Classroom lah. Boleh juga jadi macam tu kan. Tak semestinya kita kena print paper dan sebagainya. Okay. Any other questions? How to add auto attendance for Google Meet?
Auto attendance tu macam mana PPT tu Aran?
Yeah.
Do you mean by the attendance list or macam mana?
Yang saya dipahamkan kita boleh ambil attendance tanpa secara automatik keluar satu senarai email atau nama, saya kurang pastilah macam mana tu ya.
We can download the extension, right? Extension dekat.
So actually kalau dekat the Google Meet punya control, you can actually take attendance tracking. Lepas tu bila meeting tu dah tamat, okay, and then dia akan hantar kepada host siapa yang dah attend.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
buat masa ni saya tak pasti kenapa attendance tracking telah disable. Okay.
Ni attendance
so,
tracking.
Nampak tak? So saya kena check balik dengan bahagian BPM dengan BSTP lah. Right. Kenapa mereka turn off that feature.
You don't need to add an add-on in moving forward. So someone asked this tadi, siapa?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So basically, this is a feature that I will use every time if I'm actually conducting a training. So apa yang saya akan buat is Encik Kadir punya form yang hantar pagi tadi, so fill in tu, saya akan matchkan balik dengan saya punya attendance list yang saya dapat daripada Google Meet tu lah. Ataupun saya akan bagi saya punya Google Meet punya attendance bagi kat Encik Kadir nanti, so dia buat.
Sebab attendance dalam Google Meet ni dia akan bagi dalam satu sheet tau. Okay, so dalam sheet tu dia akan tunjuk berapa lama user tu masuk, bila dia masuk, bila dia keluar, bila dia masuk balik, bila dia keluar.
Let me just do a quick search about attendance that I have, then I can actually share with you guys.
Yeah.
So I'll just put attendance.
I'll just stop presenting first.
Sure.
Cik Benjamin.
Ya saya.
Tentang kehadiran tu dia memang auto terus masuk email. Bila kita habis record, kita tutup dia auto masuk email dan kita tengok dah ada nama. Dia tak
So,
macam
I don't know Ben, it sound daripada apa yang PPD kita Selatan ni cakap, it could be auto enable tau.
Yes, dia auto.
Correct. So tengok saya of course dia auto, but by default when they auto means they actually send to you and also it will actually keep a copy inside your Google Drive.
Google Drive, betul.
Okay, so I just type attendance, ni lah list of attendance, ni any keyword regarding attendance, and then saya buka attendance ni, yang ni siapa yang attend sesi pertama saya. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet. Okay, dia akan bagi tahu siapa yang attend, apa first name, apa last name, what is the email address, duration, time join, time exit. Okay, example, saya tahu let's say ada orang yang akan keluar masuk 2-3 kali. Let's say, let me just go by, sort by create a filter, and then let's say sort by name. Nampak tak Encik Kadir? Masuk berapa kali? Okay. Dia masuk pukul 12, masuk setengah, keluar pukul 12.
Jelas,
Masuk
jelas.
setengah, keluar pukul 11. Dia keluar masuk. Okay? Let me see if there any. Okay, let's say, nampak tak? Let's say for example Puan Nazila. Okay? Dia masuk pukul apa, dia keluar pukul apa, masuk keluar apa, and so on.
Kadang dia lost connection je, dia keluar, dia masuk balik. Macam tu lah. Dia akan jadi
Correct.
Okay.
So, it's not macam mana, it's not a full attendance list yang kita boleh guna terus, tetapi dia memberikan kita insight ataupun informasi berkenaan dengan sesi tersebut, dan later kita compile lah, let's say kalau kita nak ambil tu sebagai attendance tracking dan sebagainya. Okay, so kita compile lah. Alright, let's say kalau saya tak pastilah kalau let's say PDPR ni macam mana kita nak buat murid-murid kehadiran 100%. Saya tak pastilah sama ada kehadiran 100% yang ni still satu KPI kepada murid-murid. Okay, so this is something that we can actually use it.
Tentang kehadiran tak ada masalah. Dia ada offline dengan online. Dia mesti akan jadi 100%. Kalau tak ada online, dia jadi offline. Macam tu lah. Kehadiran lah.
Ya, betul. So, ada soalan tak untuk Encik Kishan lagi? So, saya markkan tick untuk PPD Tenom pasal dengan quiz punya grading and so on, because I think that kita dah cover tadi. Okay, kalau tak ada, saya akan cuba move on to the next one. Kishan, you have other thing to share?
No, that's all from my end. I think you're going to show the collaboration features and next, right?
Yeah, I'm going to show the other stuff. So I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, these are the feature okay, yang akan roll out lah. So the launch is whether it's coming week or coming month and so on. So ini feature yang ada. So Education Plus ini adalah lesen yang tuan-tuan perempuan subscribe. Okay, so tadi ada seorang daripada PPD tanya berkenaan dengan Google Classroom offline. Okay, kalau tak silap saya, dia hanya push pada mobile app sahaja. Okay, saya tak pasti sama ada Google Classroom tu akan ada online offline punya feature tak. Okay, so I think that one is somewhere this year lah. Okay, so first thing is we are going to go through some of the features. So automatically set up classes and keep rosters in sync. So allow admins to automatically set up classes and keep roster in sync between the student information system and also the and this is actually powered by Clever. Okay, so next is actually schedule assignments to multiple classrooms. This is actually good feature for for teachers that are actually handling multiple classroom at the same multiple classes at the same time, right? So there is classroom add-on. Okay, so I think some people has using Kahoot and so on. Okay, so let's watch out this video. So this is how you do that.
Ben, I'll take my leave first. Is that okay?
Okay, can. It is how you do grading or using the add-ons, right? It's not auto grading, okay? So the next part, okay, just to answer Encik Naim's question, Encik Naim, okay, berkenaan dengan how to autosave jika guna Google Docs sheet secara offline. So by default, the Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheet is memang autosave, right? So it's just that bila you connected to online, dia akan directly synchronize. There is no human intervention needed to do that. Okay, so I hope that I answer Encik Naim's question. So next is next is actually student engagement activity, right? To easily see when a student has a last active, including when they submitted their work and participate throughout the class. So this is something similar to what the Guardian punya ni, but this is more towards what activity does the student is engaging with lah, right? So this is the one, keep learning going offline. So working with Classroom Android app enables students to continue to work offline. Okay, so this will be launched in a few months' time. Okay. So there's a setting that you need to enable lah, right? Okay, so a safer Google Meet, a safer Meet in classroom experience that actually you can actually look at this. So you can actually, they are trying to integrate the Meet and Classroom together in a single place so that the students do not need to navigate in and out, right? That you don't need to ask like, cikgu, link mana ni kita nak guna ni? This link expired lah, tak boleh guna lah dan sebagainya, right? So they just click on that link in the classroom, then they can actually join the Google Meet. Okay, so there is multiple moderators that you can actually do, right? You can actually assign people to become the moderator, all right? Or we call it the co-host. Let me see if this feature is available right now. Okay, so come back to my screen. So I'm going to share this again. So the setting is macam ni, right? Take a while because so let's say I can decide to say that I'm going to give WP Kuala Lumpur CM sekian untuk co-host, so I can actually run co-host control. Okay, alright, so that you can actually have two hosts and things like that. So that let's say sekiranya certain sesi the host have to step out to do some other thing, so the co-host can actually continue lah. Alright. So let me share back my screen. Okay, multiple moderators. Okay, hand raising improvements, right? So this is the one that I shown just now, like who actually raised their hands, all right? Then after you actually address them, you actually lower their hand and then you move on to the next people has raised hand and so on. Okay, so this is in integration fundamentals dah ada, right? Don't need to upgrade the license. So multiple pinning, okay, you can actually pin multiple people, right? So if let's say you're in the spotlight, right, you can actually see two people at once in the pinning, right? Then this is public live streaming. Yeah, this feature is not available yet for public, but within the domain live stream dah ada, okay. So statutory controls on mobile. So the same thing that you actually see it on the Google Meet on the browser. Okay, they're also trying to bring this into your mobile phone, right? Then video log, turn off everyone video at once, right? Quickly. Okay. So this one is also not there yet, but it's planning to launch in the coming months. Okay, breakout room safety improvements. Okay, moderator can choose to have breakout room setting to match the safety setting in the main meeting room, right? So that it will be consistent lah. Okay, so when you end the breakout room, multiple participants will force back into the main meeting room. So this is what I did just now. Okay. Okay, control which meeting users in your domain can join new settings in the admin console. So this one is some of the admin feature, right? So this is the quick access. Remember just now apa yang saya tunjuk tadi. So because my domain is not a EU domain, so I don't have the other thing. So you can see this is the one that I shared tadi just now. Right, apa yang ada dalam quick access and things like that. Right, the same thing. Okay, so this feature when I was actually conducting 2 weeks ago dekat sesi pertama, it wasn't there. Right. So end meeting for all, alright, in your organization. This is for investigation. So let's say there's something happening that you want to end the meeting concurrently. This is something that you can actually do it in the admin console in your screen. Right. So next thing, I'm going to share a few things about the collaboration tool. Okay. So let me just come to my screen later. I'm going to show what is all this smart canvas, interactive checklist, table templates dan sebagainya. Okay. So allow me to navigate away. Before that, let me look at the Q&A first. Can you share the video of the new feature with us? Later, I think pihak BPM will actually see lah how are they going to share the videos yang kita orang dah buat ni. Alright. So I'm going to share a screen. Ada tak extension yang sesuai untuk melihat semua AliCat? I tak explore lagi extension tu. But I think to view 250 people is kind of tough, right? Okay, so let's look at this. So I will just say, let's start with Google Docs. I will just say docs.new. Right, so when you just type docs.new in your Google Chrome, you will actually open a new Google Docs. Alright. Okay. So what I can actually do is that let me start off with give this document a name. I'm just going to give a name. Just this is called Testi 2 Google Docs demo. Alright. So saya tak pasti sama ada tuan-tuan dan perempuan tahu tak all this sharing punya permission. Maybe someone can volunteer. Kalau siapa yang tahu boleh share. Ada tak siapa yang tahu? What does this mean? And also let's say what does this mean? Ada tak siapa nak volunteer? Anyone? Tak ada, then I will just go ahead. So first thing first is, let's say I actually share this document with Kishan. Okay, I can actually allow him to view, either to view, comment or become the main editor. To view maknanya dia boleh view tapi dia tak boleh comment, dia tak boleh edit lah. Right, so to comment, so commenter means to say that dia boleh comment document tu tapi dia tak boleh edit content dalam document tersebut. So editor is a full access right lah. Right. So let's say I'm going to send this to him. Okay. And you can see that on top of this has extra gear button that you can actually tick. Editors can change permission and share. Maknanya by default editors is the highest privilege access. Alright. So maknanya editor can actually also share the document to other people. But with this particular checkbox here, you can actually disable editor from sharing the documents to other. Maknanya dia boleh edit tapi dia tak boleh play with the permission at all. Okay. So the next thing is viewers and commenters. Alright. So if you untick this checkbox, okay, you can actually look at like viewers and commenters can not see the download, print and copy function. Okay. So example, let's say I give you guys the editor function, right? But I untick this, okay, and let's see what happens, right? So click done. I'm going to just share, change anyone with the link, okay, to become editor, and I copy link and then click done. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to paste this thing here. So tuan-tuan boleh tengok tak, boleh tak masuk ni dalam dokumen ni. Okay, sorry ya, I see a lot of binatang coming in to edit my document. Okay, I don't know why Google choose the binatangs, alright. Okay, so kalau if you guys realize, kalau you all actually click the share button again, right, you can see that you cannot actually add people here. Okay, kalau boleh then you let me know lah, right. So then if let's say right now I'm actually changing, okay, you guys from this, viewers and commenters can see the option to download, print and copy. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to change this to become only viewer, right, done. Okay, you can actually see no one is actually typing anything already. Alright. Right, so at the same time, kalau let's say I have 30 viewers, any of you kalau if you go to file, okay, you will not able to do this, download, make a copy, print dan sebagainya. Betul tak? Okay, so let's say I like the things that so let's say I like the things that aku buat sini ya, right? I'm going to just click the explore button. Right, so I'm going to say that kitten. Okay, you can actually search. You can actually search within your Google Drive itself. You can actually go to the web, okay, and also click on the images. So let's say, for example, I don't want this. Okay, I'm just going to add, let's say, this kitten here. I'm going to click insert. Okay, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to have something like taking care of a kitten. I'm just going to insert the citation as the footnote. I'm going to say that, oh, okay, it will directly add the citation and so on directly into the Google Docs without you doing any other thing. So of course, you can actually also do the other stuff in terms of the citation here, which is your footnote, right? Where is it? Not under footnote. Let's say I cannot remember. Okay, the citation part. You can actually choose what form of citation, whether you want to use MLA, APA, or Chicago. Let's say I decided to use APA. You can actually put in what is the source type. Let's say it's a book, is it a print, and things like that. What's the author, and then it will actually add it in here lah. Okay. So and then the other part here, there's some simple stuff. You can actually also add the header. Right. Let's say I'm going to create a table, right? Okay, I'm going to actually add something. I'm going to add here is actually kitten logo. Okay, fix the images. I'm going to add the logo here, insert here, right? Okay, so let's say this is your header, right? Okay, so you say kitten.org.my example. Okay, so what I can do is I can actually buang the borders. Okay, okay. So this is your header. So the same thing you can actually edit for your footer and so on, and you can actually have a different first page, right? So that your first page will always be your your front page dan sebagainya. Okay, and then let's say I believe tuan-tuan dan puan-puan tahu how to do this, right? So I said this is heading 1. Okay, I'm just going to put this as heading 1. Okay, I'm just going to break page this into the next page, right? So I'm going to say this is heading 2. Okay, I'm going to put this under heading 2. I'm going to make this. Okay, I'm going to make a new page. I'm going to say this is heading. This is heading 2. I made a mistake. Heading 1. Okay, this is heading 1.1. Okay, so I think you guys dah dapat guess lah what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to put here is insert a table of contents, right? So I'm just going to say here, this is my table of content. Right, so as soon as you are updating your stuff and so on, let's say the thing has moved, right? Okay, so what you can do, you can come back to this and then you can just click the refresh button there, it will just update accordingly. Okay, boleh tuan-tuan? Any question for Google Docs? Okay, of course, those that are viewing right now, you guys can actually do this, right? You say that you can actually right click and then you can actually comment to say that, hey, Ishan, I think this picture is not appropriate. Please change it to others. Okay? Alright? So you guys can explore this feature and then it will actually show what are the comments that people put in place. Right? Kalau let's say yes,
boleh tanya tak Google Doc ni?
Boleh.
Untuk page 1, macam dia ada page 2, page 1. Contoh, page 1, page 2. Page 1 tu kita nak buat landscape. Page kedua kita nak buat portrait. Macam mana cara nak buat?
So you can actually select selected document.
Okay.
Let's say, I think this one can apply to selected document. No, this is selected content. Let me just do an example. Let's say this one, page setup. Macam tak boleh je. Sama ada tak boleh ke saya tak tahu. Sekejap. Nanti saya sharekan the link untuk buat the individual page punya ni. Because it looks like the setting dekat sini boleh buat. Okay.
Sebab sebelum ni saya ada pakai. Sebab page 1 saya akan buat dalam satu page lah. So kena page 1 tu saya buat landscape. So page kedua tu saya nak buat portrait. Lepas tu bila bawah tu saya nak buat landscape, dia lari-lari, dia tak ada, bila kita direct lah, kita klik pada page tersebut, kita klik kanan, dia ada kadang-kadang kita can use landscape. Tapi benda tu lari-lari lah, saya tak nak ada benda tu lari. Bila kita nakkan page itu saja landscape, dia bagi page tu kosong, yang landscape tu, yang ada dokumen tu dia lari ke bawah. Dia jadi page ketiga. Tapi bila saya nak padam page jadi landscape tu dah tak boleh. Nak jadi nak cari yang nak cari terus daripada
saya letak selected content and then this one look put landscape, then I click OK. This is how it looks like lah. Kan? So I don't have a full document to show lah. So let's say saya naikkan ni. Okay. So maknanya saya ada ni. Okay. So saya just select, let's say this one. Okay. Page setup. Okay. Okay, you can also decide whether this section forward, this section only, and select the content. Right, so I can actually escape. Okay, so then nampak tak? You actually move it down, and then they create spacing. I think this is someone later you need to fix back. Kan?
Okay, thank you.
Right. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. So Google Docs, okay. So, and the other thing is that kalau let's say if your admin actually enable this, you can actually look at the viewer, right? Viewer trend dan sebagainya, right? Sharing history, right? Siapa buka, privacy settings, right? Comment trends, okay? And viewers, siapa pernah buka dan sebagainya. So I'm just going to give it an example. Okay, let's say this document. Okay, let's say viewers. But this has to ni lah, so you can see, I can see that okay, last view Encik Kadir buka Monday, I buka this morning, Kishan buka morning and so on. So of course this is actually some personalization. I mean the privacy access lah, kalau let's say people actually allow you to do this, and then you can actually view lah, that actually it doesn't allow you to actually see it. Okay, so this is actually two-way, not one-way. Okay, so this is actually applicable to all. So I'm going to go to Google Sheets. Okay, so it says that, okay, nampak tak? This is the bot on Google Drive. It says that WP JPN WP request edit access. So what I can do is I can actually open sharing setting, or I can actually give access directly. So once the default give access from Google Chat is actually only give viewer. Okay, kalau tak, then it will actually open up a page, and then I can actually click send. So JPN WP Putrajaya boleh actually edit the document right now lah. Okay, kalau if you are still in the document. Okay. So yeah, next I'm going to go to Google Sheet. Okay, Google Sheet ni, let me demo it with something so that you can actually see the demo better. Okay. So I'm going to just go look at models. Okay. I have a sample data, right? So this is how your data looks like. Okay. So of course, you can actually put in some formula lah. So let's say I'm going to just redo this formula again, just for the sake of the demo, right? I'm just going to insert one, right? Okay, I'm just going to say that. Okay, just going to paste it here. Yeah, just for the exercise, I'm just going to paste something here. So I'm just going to click here. Nampak that there is a suggested autofill, right? You can actually fill it all the way. You don't need to actually drag and things like that. Okay. Then I also want to change this to become, let's say, to become percentage, right? Okay, at the same time, you can actually also do a filter and filter again, right? And one thing here to talk about filter is actually you can actually create a new filter view. Maknanya, let's say for example, I only want to filter by, let's say, technology, right? And I can actually save as a filter view. Okay. So I'm going to name it called filter by technology. Okay. So this is actually enable multiple filtering. Okay, maknanya, let's say someone come into this particular Google Sheet, right? They can actually filter none, or they can actually choose to, okay, they can actually play with it without actually interrupting the other filter that people has already set. So you can actually use a filter that's already been set, right? Okay, clear? Okay, the next thing that I wanted to show is that the explore button. let's see what does the explore button give. Okay, so the explore button gives you some suggestion, right? A pivot table by order ID for each region. Let's say Africa ada berapa order ID dan sebagainya, right? You can actually click on more to look at what are the suggestions given by Google Sheets. Page break dulu, kena tukar content pun. Okay, so I think this is something related to the page orientation yang tadi saya buat tu lah. Okay, it will actually give you other suggestion, let's say pivot table by subcategory and average sales, okay, profit by individual market dan sebagainya. Okay, so let's say if you like this, you can just click add, okay, insert into pivot. They will ask you whether you want to put in the same sheet or you want to put in the new sheet. So I will say that I'm going to put in the new sheet. Okay, and then there's other things that you can actually play with it. Let's say you want to go by market. Okay, you want to go by, let's say you want to add columns. Let's say I want to have market and example shipment mode. Okay, right? Nampak tak? Dia dah create that automatically. Okay, so of course, there is other explore functions that we can actually look at it. For example, there is, let's say you come to here. Find my machine, suddenly so slow. Okay, let me just refresh this again. I think you guys can start to explore this function in tuan-tuan dan puan punya current punya Google Sheet punya ni lah, collaboration lah. Okay, I'm going to show is like how can we add other things in the Explore. For example, I wanted to add a chart. Okay. Okay, let's say I'm planning to, let's say, okay, let's say I'm going to add this chart in. I know it's cantik, but I just want to just show you guys for the sake of showing. This is actually the orders punya row ID, right? So I can do, actually copy chart. Okay, I can actually put the chart here. Okay. It can ask you whether you want to link to spreadsheet or you just don't want to link. So when you say link, means to say that if any changes happening to this chart, for example, okay, there's actually a refresh button here to actually, or update button here to actually update the chart accordingly. Okay, right. So the other things that I think I didn't get to share just now was this function. So I can also text this. I'm going to just put like this type. I say, hey, let's say let me create a table. Let's say I'm going to insert a table. I'm going to say Ishan. Okay. So I'm going to put in a document. Okay. So let's say I have a document that I wanted to share with him. I can actually put it in. Okay. I can also insert a checklist. Okay. Dan sebagainya. This is something that you can actually do it here. So, okay. So this is actually Google Sheet and Google Docs lah. So far, any questions for these two before I jump into Google Slides? Kalau tak ada, let me go to Google Slides, slides.new. One o'clock. Okay. So let's say Google Slides, what I can do is that every single thing you have this explore button. I'm going to search at Titan. Okay, I'm going to put an images. I'm going to say, let's take this image. I'm going to add this. Okay, then I go back again. It will actually recommend you some other things, how you can actually do. You can actually insert the image and actually also settle the layout and things like that. Right. So of course, there's one more thing you can do is actually you can actually have edit theme. Right, how you want to decide your theme. For example, you want to put a footer down here dan sebagainya, then how does it going to look like? Okay, so this is actually some of the slide near feature lah. Of course, the other thing that you can actually do with this is actually the same thing. Right, I can actually do like this. I'm gonna drag this down, close this. Let's say I select a few columns. Okay, I'm just going to copy. Okay, what I can do is I can actually paste it here. Right. Okay, you can actually have your data here. Right, the same thing. Right, you can have the let's say I don't want to have so many columns. I'm just going to say that change range. Right, I'm going to just say until H5. Okay. Position dekat sini. Okay, and then I'm going to do here is let me remove, let's say H5. I'm changing from, let's say, home office to, let's say empty. Okay, so what you will actually show it here, nampak tak ada update button. So this one should be empty. You update, it will become empty. Right, so this is how it looks like. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far for the collaboration tool? Okay, if not, then let me proceed with the other stuff. So there's other things, right? Like say present to a meeting and so on. Right. So let's say I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. I can directly present using the present the tab to meeting. Okay, it will directly present without you going to another screen to do the presentation. Okay, so let's say I'm going to present this tab. I'm going to click share. Right. Tuan boleh nampak saya punya screen sekarang Nampak. Okay. Next,
okay, no
here are some of the quick links about education on air, right? About how to do the global distance learning, okay, the teacher center dan sebagainya. So I think later when BPM punya team, Cik Kadir will send out the slides, then you will actually get to look at all these individual links. Okay, where does it send you to? Okay. All right. Okay. Then next is actually what are the things in the teacher centers. Okay, what are the training topics? Okay. Then how to use the tools that I shared just now. So just now we ran through Classroom, Google Meet, Jamboard, Docs, Slides, Sheets, Forms. I think we didn't cover Slides, right? Okay, so those are step-by-step instructions. Okay. So any question before I jump to the security punya section? Ada tak?
Not for now.
Okay. Alright. Okay, so let me move on. I'll do my best to actually present this as not as boring as possible. So we're going to talk about security on Google Workspace. Okay. So I know that by default, all right, the MOE domain turn off, okay, the two-step verification. Maknanya it can actually, the users, it's not what you call this, it's not a central control. Okay, so individual users can actually enroll in the two-step verification. So tuan-tuan dan puan-puan tahu tak pasal what is actually a two-step verification? Maknanya apart from your password, you actually either have to key in a 6-digit PIN, whether is it via OTP, via Google Authenticator, or via a YubiKey or Titan security key, right? So the best practices of this is that, of course, yes, this is administration that is the best practice, but it is tough for the MOE as a whole to manage 5 million accounts to do two-step verification. Okay. So here are some of the Dlp features. So actually, the admins will actually have a Dlp. So Dlp means data loss prevention. Okay, it shares actually to protect sensitive data, okay, preventing users from sharing outside of the organization. Let's say what Dlp can do is they actually can scan through. We can actually create a rule and then scan through the information in the Gmail or Drive so that it meets certain requirement. Let's say, for example, if there's things pertaining to IC number, you can't actually share it outside of the domain dan sebagainya. Okay, so so if there is a rule, okay, we can actually have an incident management dashboard to see that what actually falls under the rules and so on. Okay, of course, there's also some simple deployment to do that lah. So basically, it's a lot of trying what Dlp rules suits the entire domain. Okay, so this also prevents data leaks on mobile devices. Okay, and how can you can see that this extra setting here is that editor can change permission, right? So here you can see that your administrators actually block the download, copy, and print because of this is the sensitive content of your organization. So this is something that can actually put in place. Okay. So the features that saya tunjuk ni, so these are some of the features comes with the Education Plus. Okay, right? So Googlebot. Okay, so this is actually a retention kind of stuff that all the content that you have actually stores in Googlebot. So if anything that you have deleted from your account is not being deleted in Googlebot. Okay, this is actually for further investigation. If let's say someone reported that like, hey, let's say this person is doing something not right, so we can actually go to Googlebot to perform the investigation, whether be it searching their Google Drive and things like that. All right. So these are some of the Googlebot supported data types. So Gmails, right? Groups, Drive, okay, Google Meet, right? So at the same time, the enterprise the Education Plus can also do device management. Okay, so maknanya those peranti-peranti yang diberikan, right, is actually can be enrolled under the admin console, and the stuff yang diorang boleh buat di dalam peranti-peranti tersebut is also being controlled by the admin console. Okay, so these are some of the stuff that you can actually do, like set password requirements for the mobile devices, apply universal setting for the mobile devices, what mobile apps can be installed, and what are the settings that can be actually be set. Okay, so you can actually configure and you can actually integrate with the iOS Apple Store Manager. Okay, you can actually auto approve, or you want to actually go through before approve, you can actually block, and you can actually also remotely wipe the devices. Okay, so some of this is that this setting can be actually applied to iOS. Selectively distribute the mobile apps. They add company-owned devices into inventory so that the central will have the master list of what are the devices currently right now has in the admin console, and also get a report of the inactive devices. Let's say peranti itu dah diberikan tetapi tidak digunakan sebab apa. Okay. Okay, so I finished the stuff about security very quickly. Any questions so far for this morning session? I think let me go through the Q&A. Untuk GC, ada tak cara yang free dan friendly user untuk menanda hasil murid dalam format PDF, Google Doc and Google Slides dengan tidak perlu install apps? Contoh apps.hub. I don't know. This one I don't have. Saya tak ada jawapan. Maybe tuan-tuan dan perempuan yang lain yang ada pengalaman boleh share. Ada tak? Someone help to address. Portal.admin is actually Encik Hassan Who is using portal admin to join the meeting I know it's from BSTP lah.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah. Hey, you got any answer for this
This one there is a lot of application lah, but most of the application kena bayar.
Oh.
The easiest one is actually to take the picture or do the screenshot and then actually scribble over it.
I mean just like
application kalau yang kena bayar tu is, I think it's Kami or something.
Okay.
Right.
So there is other question that this one is given by the Johor punya team. Ramai guru-guru di Malaysia telah mendapat sijil latihan Google level 1, level 2 dan GCP. Boleh data senarai nama guru diberi kepada JPN setiap negeri? Is this something that we can answer?
That one basically actually we are asking Google a list of all those certified teachers so that we can actually set up a database for them lah. Right now it's being actually pushed is being pushed as part of the GEG project, and then actually this database will be actually shared with BPG and actually the whole training punya component lah. So I think BSTP is actually working on that.
Okay. Ada tak soalan seterusnya? Okay, how do you guys feel about this morning session? Since we have 5 more minutes before we go for a break. Kalau tak ada, then we can go for a break lah. We can come back at 2:15. So the afternoon session, saya akan go through with pengenalan kepada Chrome devices, ciri-ciri. Okay, let me just share my slide here. So basically is pengenalan kepada Chrome devices, ciri-ciri Chrome Education Upgrade. Okay, apa ciri-ciri lah. So ciri-ciri ni is just for your information, apa yang boleh dibuat dia menggunakan Chrome Education Upgrade ni. Maknanya in what level we can actually control the devices dan sebagainya. Okay. let's say boleh tak Chrome OS install kepada peranti-peranti yang lama, okay, and then pengenalan kepada Chrome OS. So search, so daripada item kelima sampai sebelah kanan tu, so those are the tips and tricks about the Google Chromebook punya feature lah, ataupun Cloud Ready punya feature. So like how to search anything, how to edit Microsoft Office files on the Chromebook, how to set offline, how to email offline, how to enable Google Play Store, how to download apps, how to connect to a Bluetooth, how to move between pages, how to see all windows, how to take screenshot, and how to look at the keyboard shortcuts. Okay, so that is what will happen between 2:15 to 3 or 3:30. Selepas itu, we will take a break. Okay, lepas tu kita akan datang balik dengan postmortem. So, saya just nak beritahu apa yang akan cover dalam postmortem. First of all is how do you guys feel about this morning session and also the afternoon session later. Number two is actually berkenaan dengan kita akan ada sesi ketiga dan sesi keempat. Okay, so kita perlukan input lah. Let's say because sesi ketiga kita akan pecahkan kepada dua peringkat. Kita akan ada sesi 3A dengan sesi 3B, di mana sesi 3A dengan 3B kami akan berikan kepada pihak jurulatih utama, guru-guru GEG. Okay, dan kami nak tanya sama ada tuan-tuan perempuan ada tak cadangan selain daripada dua grup inilah. So of course after that I think the postmortem also untuk discuss sama ada tak sesi let's say 3A, 3B tu cukup tak untuk peserta-peserta, dan perlu tak kita adakan sesi keempat untuk sekolah-sekolah yang mempunyai peranti-peranti let's say Chromebook dan Cloud Ready dan sebagainya, siapa yang kita patut jemput dan sebagainya. So that is the postmortem punya agenda yang saya nak ajukan lah. Okay, so okay, kalau tak ada soalan, so let's take a break. We'll come back at 2:15. So as usual, saya akan tinggal meeting room ni sedia yang mana yang sedia ada sekarang ni. Okay, tuan-tuan just boleh masuk balik je. Okay, ataupun tuan-tuan boleh tinggal je meeting room ni macam ni, tak payah pun exit dan sebagainya. Okay, then come in, then just terus unmute je. Alright? Okay?
Alright, see you at 2:15.
Okay, see you guys at 2:15.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Alright, thank you.
Datang balik, jangan pergi.
Thank you.
Bye-bye laju. Orang tanya apa diam? Weh.
Sabar je lah.
Aduh, ya Allah. Selamat Hari Merdeka.
Diam tu tanda faham.
Terima kasih.
Tepat sekali.
Kadang-kadang tak nak ngaco orang kan, kita diam lah.
Ya, hormat tu, kita hormat.
Kena ya solat Haji Tajam.
Oh iya.
Okay Ben, boleh stop recording.
Ini tak payah live kan, tak payah live. Tunggu biar macam ni kan.
Tak payah live.
Rekod ya stop. Nanti kalau kita sembang masuk lagi kan viral.
Rekod stop.
Bahaya.
Kita sembang ni di luar daripada kotak pemikiran.
Jangan keluar.